Thank you for staying with us right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is 5 minutes after 12 on this side of the radio. Well, as you can hear from my voice, I'm super excited because we're still on our 16 Days of Activism campaign, and today is day 10. All right, so this is the big question. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and on the big question, we're going through with our 16 Days of Activism campaign, where we've been bringing up different organizations who've been telling us what they've been doing, as regards to supporting survivors of SGBV, sexual and gender-based violence. All right, so the topic that we've been looking at all through for the past 10 days is rising above SGBV. And of course, the theme for the 16 Days of Activism is hashtag No Excuse Unite to End Violence Against Women and Girls. All right, once again, you're welcome to the big question. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Now, the 16 Days of Activism on the big question is a specialized program where we get to raise awareness, mobilize action, and call for the prevention and elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls, and of course, for the support of survivors of SGBV. Now, we started this right from the 25th day of November. That's Monday, 25th of November, and we're going to take it up until 10 December 2024. Now, to be a part of the program, you can dial 07000 917 917, send us a WhatsApp message or a text message to 070 317 56537. Our toll-free number for our female callers is 0800 1235 917. Send your contributions to our social media platforms, Instagram, X, YouTube, and of course Facebook at WFM 917. Log on to our website, www.wfm917.com. All right, so today joining me is Bose Ironsi, and she is the founder and executive director of Women's Rights and the Health Project. Good afternoon, Bose. How have you been?
Fine, so good.
Okay.
Are you?
I'm okay. Thank you so much for asking. So how far with the 16 Days of Activism, from your organization? How busy has it been for, your organization so far?
Well, it's been very, very busy. We partner with a lot of organizations to mark the 16 Days of Activism, and I must say that it's always a unique opportunity to amplify voices of women and also interact with agencies and stakeholders to probably look at our records, look at where we are going to, and things like that. And I must say I've been very, very happy from what I am seeing. Everybody is talking about it, across the states, across Nigeria, and in the global space. A lot of people are doing a lot of work to talk about GBV. And I pray that it's not just talking about it, but about doing something about it.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. And I'm sure that, for the rest of the 6 days that we have left for the 16 days, I'm sure that there's still some other programs lined up. And hopefully all the efforts that every organization is putting together to see that we create more awareness would definitely go a long way. Thank you. All right, so let's us head on straight to the conversation for today. This is 8 minutes after 12. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and this is the program, The Big Question. And of course, we're going through with our 16 Days of Activism. Today is our day 10, and we have Bose Ironsi with us. She's the founder and executive director of Women's Rights and Health Project. All right, so as an organization, Bose, who that supports survivors of SGBV. Now, what specific programs or services does your organization provide, especially towards helping survivors rebuild their lives after experiencing SGBV?
Okay, so thank you very much, Rose. Women's Rights and Health Project has a vision of a just society where the dignity of women, young people, and communities are respected and they enjoy sound health and maximize their potentials. So over years, what we have done is to, we believe that for them to be able to enjoy their maximum potentials, they need to have, information is very key in terms of how they understand what is SGBV and where to report, who to report to,
Okay.
So, like I said, we have a vision of creating an environment where the women and children can enjoy a sound health and develop their own full potentials. And so, what we have done over years, for the past 17 years that we have been running our organization, is to engage community, both men and women, and everybody, to understand the law. Because if you don't understand, if you don't have information about what the laws are saying, you cannot really help yourself. And then not just giving them information on the laws, it's also saying when it does happen, what should you do? So, and for the past years, we have been engaging community, government institutions, other non-governmental organizations, stakeholders like Women Radio and all that, to amplify the voices of women and build their capacity in terms of areas of reporting pathways. So we have put in place a psychosocial support center, which is Ireti Psychosocial Support Center, and it's based in the Khartoum Governors Road. And our organization, we offer a range of programs and services designed to rebuild the lives of survivors, which includes counseling and therapy. When I mean counseling and therapy, I'm saying individual and group sessions. We train psychotherapists. We also ensure survivors receive psychological first aid to aim for calmness and be ready to make informed decisions. We also provide medical assistance, and then we have what we call a safe space for survivors. Safe space for survivors facing traumatic experience, because we want to prioritize their safety first. What do you do when you are facing a kind of an abuse or an other? What should you do first? So we also conduct relaxation techniques and glow-up sessions. Then we also build their skills. They also go through skills acquisition and empowerment program. And then we provide legal aids. Legal aids in the sense that, excuse me, we support for pursuing justice, including guidance and presentation. Okay. So this is what we do at community level and also at state level, also at other states in the federation that we are working.
All right, well done, well done. This is quite a lot. At least it's for the support you have given, and even the the center that you have just opened, or the center that you are operating. It's definitely a lot. There's the medical aspect of it, there's legal, there's a psychological support aspect of it too. So for me, I think that's
a holistic support.
Yes, it feels like a holistic support, and I'm really excited about that, to hear that. Thank you so much, Bosse. Now, let's look at addressing societal stigmas and cultural barriers that discourage survivors from seeking help. How does the organization help to address this? Because we live in different societies. Now, so far, I've heard from different organizations, how they've been able to deal with this, that's peculiar to the community that they actually work in. So for you who is operating in this part of the country, in the communities where you also get to work, how have you been able to address societal stigmas and even cultural barriers that could actually silence survivors from seeking help?
Okay, so thank you very much. Like I mentioned, one of our entry points into the community has always been through the simplification of the various laws, because we believe that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Plus, when the communities are aware of their rights, they can take ownership of this issue. So we are strong on community engagement, via sensitization, dialogues, and all others, because we believe that sometimes people don't even understand what is domestic violence. Because of our cultural belief system, they believe that, if my husband beats me, it's normal. Or even the men too, when they are facing some abuse and all that, they just believe, well, that is part of life. No, we are actually sensitizing them and making them believe that it is not part of life. So one of the way we do that is we also share anonymized survival success stories, engage with traditional and religious leaders to challenge harmful practices and promote survival support. We also run media campaigns using radio, TV, and social media to counter stereotypes and stigma. I must tell you that this has worked a lot. For example, we have an app, and in making sure that everybody is involved in developing that app that they can report issues, we engage the community to also get their buy-in. And that has helped, because what that does to eliminate stigma, oh, I'm the one that's reporting, or this has happened to me. So people in their bedroom, in their corner, they can actually report cases when they see it happening. So that's a way of eliminating stigma that we have also created. And then we have created a kind of reporting pathways that is seamless, that is confidential. So nobody is going to be looking at you as, oh, no, that girl or that person, this is what she's suffering and all that. So that's what we have done across several years.
All right. Thank you so much for all of these efforts towards addressing the societal stigmas and cultural barriers. All right, this is Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is 16 minutes after 12. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and today with me is Bose Ironsi. She's the founder, executive director, Women's Rights and Health Project. All right, and we are on our day 10 of a 16 Days of Activism campaign, and so far she's been able to tell us what the organization has done so far in terms of supporting survivors of sexual and gender-based violence. Some of the initiatives they have, programs they have, and even the center they have that has a holistic care approach for survivors. All right, to be a part of the program, you can dial 07000 917 917. Send us a WhatsApp message to 0703 1756537. Our toll-free number for female callers is 0800 1235 917. All right, Abosa, let's head on to how your organization, or rather, let's see some of the strategies that you use to empower survivors to regain confidence and their independence after their experiences, because that's very important and very key for them to be reintegrated back into the society. So, what have you done so far in terms of helping survivors getting their confidence and their independence back?
Okay, so one of the things, after years of sensitizing and amplifying voices of women in the various communities, there was need for us to ask ourselves a deep-seated question. And that is, when people are in that stage of, going through that process, what happens to them? So one of the strategies, we put in place, was that Irritated Resource Center, which is a holistic approach in making sure that, they kind of get their self back as human beings. So we provide a therapeutic support group that is after the one-on-one counseling. For example, if you come into the center, we take your case and then deal with you on individual basis, and then we put you across some weeks on one-on-one counseling. Then after that, we do a group counseling that helps other people to see. It's like a healing process for them to see that they are not alone in the process. Okay, so we also we have some counseling sessions, and we have safe spaces sessions. When we talk about safe spaces, we get counselors, psychotherapists who handle these survivors one-on-one, and then also in a group space. And then they come together to learn, and then they learn from each other without being judged or condemned. Whenever we have the opportunity for other empowerment, such as health, economic empowerment, we involve our survivors who are not economically buoyant to benefit from such programs. For example, this year, the First Lady reached out to us to say, please send us your survivors to benefit from the palliative that they are, they are sharing. A majority of them have benefited from that. I think about 20 of them. And then in the community, just to tell you that how community are buying into that. In the local government where Irritated Resource Center is domiciled, the chairman of the local government, or the CDC chairman, actually wrote us a letter to say, please, madam, send us 20 survivors, women survivors of SGBV. And that for us is one of our success stories, because they didn't just class them as tailors, they didn't class them as hairdressers, they didn't class them as market women, but specifically to say that they are survivors of SGBV. I think that's one of the things that, we have also gotten local government to give survivors some economic empowerment, POS. We also carry out health awareness, breast and prostate cancer screening, just to get them involved and let them be, who they want to be. So that's just one of the things we are doing. And we're also not just saying it has to be RAP alone or a resource center that is doing it. We have just recently built the capacity of 15 local women rights organizations that are working in diverse environments to be able to support these women, carry out advocacy, create awareness at community level.
All right. Yes, with all of this, I'm sure that, the survivors would definitely have a place to come into and, to regain their confidence and have their independence back, because I think that's one of the most important transition for survivors. All right. Thank you, Bose, for taking us through that. Now, let's look at the challenges you have faced so far, in your efforts to support survivors, and how you've been able to foster a culture of zero tolerance for SGBV. So far, what are some of the challenges you faced and how you've been able to overcome this in your efforts to support survivors, and even creating awareness in communities that could take away SGBV from our communities and, also promote the culture of zero tolerance for SGBV?
Okay, so thank you so much. We have faced a lot of challenges, but I think that these challenges are actually surmountable. For example, limited funding, and that limits our ability to make some impact and the scope that we want to reach in our programs. I will tell you that most times some women don't even have transport to come to the center to get the kind of support that we want to give to them. So, but we've been lucky to some extent that we have gotten some groups, some funders that have supported us to carry out arrests, to make sure that these women are able to go to the hospital for medical check. We have also been able to be able to carry out legal support. We have also been able to make sure that these cases are registered at the various courts that they are supposed to get. So, but again, the challenges are still there. Then we have cultural resistance. There is a deep-rooted norms that perpetuate SGBV. That is very strong. So it's a constant struggle, because we live in a patriarchal society where they believe that it's the men that should be there, and so it's about power and control. How do we control this? So you even see some women say, well, it's normal for my husband to beat me now. So, and then they don't understand the cycle, what that does, not only to them, but also to the children that are raised in that environment. And then there is inadequate legal enforcement. There are gaps in holding perpetrators accountable. It takes, only God knows when for people to get justice. And that deter a lot of women, people coming up to report. If a child of 3 years or 5 years is sexually abused, and we have done the arrest, the perpetrator is there and all that, and the case is still coming up, and the pressure that is mounted on the people, don't go to court, don't do that. So, and I believe that if we have we actually established the DERASAC in the General Hospital, although it's being managed by Lagos State. The essence is to make sure that when cases happen, for example, in Alimosho, they will definitely go to the DERASAC, and the forensic report will be ready in no time, and the case is go to court. So, but it takes a long time. I must tell you now, we have almost about 40 cases in court that is still going. That affects us a lot. And then, so advocating for stronger enforcement. So we are saying, what can, stakeholders can help by advocating for stronger enforcement of existing laws. Because we believe that, I used to tell my people that if in a community today, 100 women or 100 community people say there is a case against gender-based violence, I will not allow it to slip under the carpet. I don't think there will be policemen or any of these people that will say, no, we don't want to handle this case, or we should push it aside. And then we also try as much as possible to collaborate on joint awareness and training programs. You know, like I mentioned before, we have 12 local women rights organizations. Yeah. We have also empowered other, 12 community-based organizations across the 12, across the 3 senatorial districts, empowering them to be able to respond. So these are what we have done over years.
All right. Well done to you, and of course all the efforts you have been making through the Women's Rights and Health Project. All right, this is 26 minutes after 12, and this is the program, The Big Question. And on The Big Question, we're going through with our 16 days of activism. Today is our day 10, and we have with us Bose Ironti, founder and executive director of Women's Rights and Health Project. And we're looking at rising above SGBV. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaisar. To be a part of the program, you can dial 07000 917 917. Send us a WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. Toll-free number for female callers is 0800 1235 917. All right, Bossa, let's hear how your organization has, played a role or is still playing a role in advocating for stronger policies and laws to protect survivors and prevent SGBV. Because at the end of the day, like I think was it yesterday or day before yesterday, I was telling one of our guests that it's not, most times it's not about the policies or the laws, is that we have them, but the implementation is the problem. So let's even hear from you how, what role has the organization played in advocating for maybe stronger policies and laws, or even implementing the ones that we have on the ground, especially to protect survivors and prevent SGBV?
Okay, so what we have done over years is, like I mentioned, our entry point is usually, let's take these laws that we have, that's there, like you mentioned, the laws are there. But how many people are aware that these laws are there? Okay, and so what we try to do, even in the 3 states we are working, for example, in Lagos State, you have the domestic violence law. In Edo State, where we are, we have the violence against persons prohibition law. We have also in Ebonyi State, and even in Lagos State too, we have we also, because we believe in inclusion, we also have the violence against persons, special people's law. So what we have done is to simplify this law and engage community structures. So we engage in policy advocacy, partnering with policymakers to review and strengthen laws. And like I mentioned, we have simplified this and understand it's very easier for the community people to understand. Then we further collaborate with other partners like ministries, agencies, our other NGOs, and all that. And even we train the police, for them to improve legislation and enforcement. Because most times, also the police don't even know. Not all the police. Some police don't know they don't know that there are laws, but they don't know what is inside the law. So we have tried as much as possible to engage police and train police across board, and then we also have engaged schools, because we also believe that in engaging them when they are young about the laws, you see that they come out at their, at their older age, well informed about knowing that there are laws that protect them and what they should do when it does happen. So we constantly do this, and that's our very strong point, engaging community. And that is why we also train community stakeholders, which are representatives of different community structures. For example, the Pepper Granders Association, tailors, city chairmen and women, schools and all that, about the law, and when it does happen, what should they do? And already we have about 3,400 and something community advocates who are talking about the law. You'll be amazed, you see a woman who is a Pepper Grander and is talking about gender-based violence is against the law, this is what is, because we have engaged with them. And so finally, we are keen on strengthening the capacity of law enforcement. Officially on the SGBV issue, we are constantly doing this. So these are areas we are, and we belong to a lot of networks where we are constantly talking about safeguarding, talking about the importance of prevention of sexual exploitation and abuse at every level. Okay. So this is currently ongoing as an organization. And at international level, we present papers that speak to issues of SGBV, and we also carry out research to constantly look at trends and see how we can, suggest different way of responding to issues of SGBV. Thank you.
All right. Thank you too, Bose. Now, as we wrap up this program, what do you think stakeholders such as society, government, communities, all who, among the stakeholders and even other organizations, how do you think we can come together to support survivors of SGBV? And then you give us your final words with that too.
So the key word is collaboration among organizations. For example, the government should see NGOs as people collaborating with them. The NGO should be able to be the watchword for what the government is doing. They should be able to say, monitor and look at how they are engaging with government. And other organizations, they should come together to support, and then they should provide resources to share knowledge, resources, and network to enhance support system. Because we cannot do it alone. For example, Lagos State has the sexual and gender-based, Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency. They should collaborate with other organizations so that we work, because the whole essence is for the benefit of the community, and then the government can play a crucial role by allocating resources, enforcing the laws, and strengthening the judicial system. There is no going back to say that whether governments have a role to play. They have a role, and the community people also have a role to do. So my word is that let us demystify this issue about it's our cultural belief system for a woman to be, or for people to be abused. Before now it is sexual and gender-based violence that is happening to women alone. But men are beginning to, if you come to our center, we have seen a lot of sodomy going on in the community with children. And for me, we don't have to wait. So I would say that SGBV prevention and response is everybody's business. It should be everybody's concern. We don't have to wait. We should put we should be, everywhere we go, we should talk about it. So thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much, Bose, for being a part of our program, and thank you for telling us all what your organization has been doing as regards to support for survivors of SGBV. Thank you so much for being a part of our program.
Thank you.
All right. Still want to have a great day, and I wish you all the best in the rest of the 6 days of the 16 Days of Activism, and even beyond that.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. So that's it from us today on our day 10 of the 16 Days of Activism, where we've been able to talk to Bose Ironti, the founder and executive director, Women's Rights and Health Project. A very special thank you to her for coming on and telling us how they've been able to support survivors so far, some of the plans, the initiatives, the programs they have on ground, and also calling on everybody, to be a partner in supporting survivors and also preventing SGBV. It is no longer a one person's fight, it's on all of us. I think we can all agree on that, because that's what most of the organizations have also been saying. So they are in the fight firsthand on this, so we definitely take their word for it. So let's not forget that together we can build a safer and more equitable world where everyone can thrive free from violence. Now, a special thanks to the program's team of Women Radio for putting this together, and to the executive director, producer, beg your pardon, Tom Okeole Shonaya. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Do want to keep your dial locked right here on Women Radio, WFM 91.7.
WFM 91.7.